Now, according to Russian media reports, Ukraine is ready for neutral status negotiations with Russia, but it must get security guarantees. According to reports, Zelensky's office has announced readiness for status neutral talks. This comes as Russian Defense Ministry says it has destroyed 118 Ukrainian military infrastructure sites, including 11 military airfields during operation in Ukraine, adding more than 150 Ukrainian soldiers laid down their arms and surrendered during hostilities. Media reports also suggest Russia will deploy paratroopers to help guard Chernobyl power plant. And Russia has confirmed that radiation level in the area of Chernobyl power plant is normal. We're now being joined by Rosie Bachard for more on this. Welcome to WION, Rosie. What is the conflict, or what was this conflict inevitable, and is there a possibility to mend the hostilities at this moment?
Well, that inevitability was certainly discussed by EU leaders yesterday. Overnight, EU leaders held emergency talks in Brussels, really to try and plot out their next move as the situation becomes more dire by the minute. French President Emmanuel Macron, who was of course one of the biggest advocates of dialogue with Russia, said he felt that there was extreme duplicity on Russia's part because he had been in talks just in the hours before this invasion happened, where he was discussing potential diplomatic road ahead. So that certainly is a feeling among EU leaders here. They have spent the night agreeing on a new raft of sanctions that's in coordination with other major Western powers like the United States and the United Kingdom. That's the second batch of sanctions in as many days. They're really running to keep up with the speed of this situation here. They have put significant sanctions on the table. They'll be trying to essentially cut or severely limit Russian banks' access to raising capital in EU markets. They are already preparing a third batch of sanctions, but some critics are asking, what are they waiting for? What more are they waiting for to trigger a new and even more enhanced sanction approach? So that's certainly what's coming out of Brussels today as they look ahead and try and find a way forward in this very most complex of situations.
Rosie, let's stick to that. The West, US and European Union is in limbo over what to do. What are the options left for world leaders to save Ukraine?
Well, this is what will certainly be discussed this afternoon in Brussels when NATO allies, the heads of state and government of all 13 NATO allies, come together for a virtual summit. And that's really a question that is being asked a lot, because we see the next steps are further sanctions and perhaps more sanctions, as we said. But beyond that, what can really be done is a big question mark. We know that NATO allies will be reinforcing the eastern flank of the alliance. That's particularly those countries like Poland or Latvia, Lithuania, that are kind of on the front line, either bordering Ukraine or some of them bordering Russia. However, there will be no NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine because Ukraine is not a member of the alliance, and that means it's not party to the alliance's collective defence agreement. That's that one for all that says if one ally is attacked, the others will step in and offer help. That is something Ukraine cannot expect in forms of support. EU leaders and NATO allies are trying to find other ways to support Ukraine, for example, sending extra financial offers, but that seems to not have been enough for Ukraine so far. As we heard, the Ukrainian president has been asking for more sanctions. Now, let's see how they've tried to move forward on this, but the question has not been answered as what they can really do beyond sanctions at this stage.
Live from Brussels, thank you very much, Rosie Bachard. for talking to us and for talking to WION today. Now, United States and Britain say that Russia is targeting the Ukrainian government. Defense Minister Wallace confirmed United Kingdom views that Russia intends to invade the whole of Ukraine and that Russia has not taken any of its major objectives. Wallace also estimated that Russia has lost more than 450 personnel, while U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken told the media America is convinced Russia will try to overthrow the Ukrainian government. Blinken predicts Ukrainians will strongly resist Putin's effort to usurp their sovereignty. French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian accused Russia's President Vladimir Putin of trying to destroy Ukraine's statehood. France also warned that the security of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is at risk.
Part of the Russian plan has been to put Kyiv in danger, to assault the capital, to go after other major cities. We're seeing forces come in from the north, from the east, from the south, and that's all part of the plan that we've laid out for the world in recent weeks. One of the things that Vladimir Putin has done, starting back in 2014 when they first went into Ukraine, seizing Crimea, seizing a part of eastern Ukraine, is to totally alienate the Ukrainian people from Russia. Before 2014, actually, Russia was pretty popular in Ukraine. It had a 70% favorability rating. Right now, it's exactly the opposite, more than the opposite. 90% of Ukrainians now, if I can use the word, detest Russia and certainly detest President Putin. My prediction would be that one way or another, they will strongly resist any effort to take away their sovereignty, take away their independence, take away their government.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.